Good evening. This is VK3EKH, VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel, the official station of the Astronomical Society of Victoria, with the regular Friday night broadcast coming to you from the studios of VK3CSJ in Narre Warren South. We're broadcasting on prime frequency of 3541 kilohertz in the 80 metre amateur radio band and transmitting via the YouTube stream, which you can find on VK3CSJ if you search for that on YouTube, and hopefully the stream will maintain itself. And also via the Melbourne television repeater, VK3RTV Digital Channel 1. And a very pleasant good evening on this 1st of March 2024, and I trust that everybody is in good stead and in good health and all that. So, we'll start off with the usual announcement of the Astronomical Society of Victoria, which was founded in 1922 and comprises over 1,600 members throughout Victoria and other states of Australia and overseas. Membership of the Society is open to all persons with an interest in astronomy. The Society's objectives are to encourage the study and practice of astronomy, and to disseminate the knowledge of the science, and to provide greater facilities for the study among its members. Monthly meetings are usually held on the second Wednesday of each month, except in January, with the latter being held on a Saturday night. Meetings start at 8 p.m. at Mullier Hall, Burwood Avenue, Melbourne, near the Melbourne Observatory, and which is located not too far from the Shrine of Remembrance. Parking is available in Burwood Avenue, Dallas Brooks Drive, and the surrounding streets. Admission is free and visitors are most welcome. Privileges of membership include the right to borrow books, periodicals and other publications from the Society's extensive library located at Melbourne Observatory, receipt of the ASV magazine Crux containing news, articles and observing notes and the like, and the free provision of the Astronomical Yearbook. Access is available to the telescopes on members' nights held regularly at the Melbourne Observatory and after the monthly meetings, weather permitting. These instruments include the Society's 300mm equatorial reflector and a 300mm portable reflector. There's also a 200mm refractor managed by the Royal Botanic Gardens, and a photoheliograph are also housed at the observatory and are accessible as well. The Society also has a number of 200mm reflectors available for short period loan in the ASV's telephone loan scheme. Members are also encouraged to make use of the Society's country property located near Heathcote, some 90-minute drive north of Melbourne. There are a range of instruments available for members to use, the larger two only with appropriate training. These range from 300mm to 1000mm in aperture. Also located on the site is a fully steerable 8.5 metre radio telescope, which members can be involved with through the radio astronomy section. Members are encouraged to make and use telescopes. Advice and help on both matters are provided willingly to newcomers desiring to do the same. Instrument making is only one of the number of common interest activities catered for within the Society. Other areas of interest that members can participate in include deep sky observing, astrophotography, lunar and planetary observing, auroral meteor, comet, radio astronomy, cosmology, astrophysics, historical studies, research, and astronomy in general. Contact details for various section directors are provided in the yearbook. Further information may be obtained by visiting the ASV website. Notifications of events are given in the Crux Extra Bulletins, which are mailed to members via email every other week. And please note that the ASV will conform to all government health directives. ASV members may be required to be cancelled or moved or postponed due to circumstances. So, the ASV website can be found at www.asv.org.au, www.asv.org.au. All right, I haven't had my cup of coffee yet, I think. Better start getting into that. Anyway, there's a few things coming up over the next few months with the ASV, and we have, where is it? There was just a moment I saw it. The Messier Star Party is occurring, and trying to find the information on that. Messier Star Party, which is being held at Hamilton this year at Western Victoria at the Hamilton Harness Racing Club on the 9th and 10th of March. More information can be found if you go to the ASV website and check out the details. Let's hope that the weather turns out to be pretty good for that weekend. Okay, let's go to Sky Notes for March. From Tanya Hill, the resident astronomer at the planetarium at Science Works here in Melbourne. She publishes these Sky Notes every month. And we start off with the autumn equinox. On Wednesday the 20th, we reach the equinox with equal lengths of day and night. Autumn equinox in the southern hemisphere and spring or vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere. We are midway between summer and winter solstices. Our planet's axis leans neither toward nor away from the sun. Melbourne sunrise times. For the first, today, the sun rose at 7:04 a.m, setting at 7:59. On Monday the 11th, sunrise will be at 7:14 and setting at 7:45. By Thursday the 21st, it'll be rising at 7:24 and setting at 7:29. By the end of the month, Sunday the 29th, sunrise will be at 7:33. The sunset will be at 7:14. The moon phases. On the 4th of March, Monday, the moon phase will be a third quarter. On the 10th, it'll be a new moon. Sunday the 17th will be first quarter. And by the end of the month there at 25, on the Monday the 25th, it'll be a full moon. On Sunday the 24th, the moon will be furthest from the Earth at 406,294 kilometres. And then on Sunday the 10th, the moon will be at the closest approach to Earth at 356,895 kilometres. So, there it is, visible planets. Mercury has close to the Sun to view this month. Venus is still visible in the early morning, low in the east, but is moving closer to the Sun for the solar conjunction. It can be seen this month from around 5:20 a.m. and a little earlier each morning before it fades in the morning light. During March, it will sink slowly to the horizon passing Saturn, which rises. Mars is now visible again, returning to our morning skies after its passage behind the Sun. It is visible from around 4:40 a.m, rising before Venus. Jupiter is soon to pass behind the Sun, but remains visible low in the northwest from around 8 p.m. before setting by 10 p.m. Saturn, after its solar conjunction, is still too close to the Sun, sitting below the eastern horizon at sunrise. However, by late March, it will begin to appear in the east before sunrise, below Venus, and gradually ascend past Venus as that planet descends. Now, there's a triple planetary lineup occurring. Enjoy the sight of 3 planets moving positions this month in the east before dawn. And we have a couple of pics here. Let me see where they are in the scheme of things. Okay, this is the first pic. which you can view via YouTube. YouTube is still hanging in there, glad to see. Sky notes. So, enjoy the sight of 3 planets moving positions this month in the east before dawn. An extended triple lineup occurs in March with Mars, Venus and Saturn. If you observe over the second half of the month in March, you can see Saturn day by day ascend and overtake Venus, while Venus descends to the horizon. Here are 2 stellarium views, both looking east at 5:30 a.m. on the 15th of March, and then 2 weeks later on March 30. Mars remains high in the east, but during that time Saturn and Venus gradually swap positions. So what you're seeing on the screen at the moment is early in the month on the 15th of March. You can see Saturn, Venus and Mars looking due east there at 5:30, but by the end of the month things take a slight swap where things will look like this. So you'll have Venus, Saturn and Mars swap positions. Interesting stuff. That's by the end of the month. Meteors. What's happening with meteors this month? Just swapping cameras here. Meteors. The Gamma Normids meteors peak around the 15th of the month. They are centered near the star Gamma Normae, the third brightest star in Norma, the constellation, the Level, which lies between Scorpius and Centaurus. Gamma Normids. So they peak on the 15th of the month, in middle of the month there. Constellations and stars and constellations. Let me see. Orion, the Hunter, is north after sunset and upside down here in the southern hemisphere, where the 3 bright stars forming Orion's belt, or the base of the saucepan, from our southern perspective. The fuzzy object in the center of its scabbard sword, which runs to the upper left, is M42, or the Orion Nebula. Lower right in Orion is the red supergiant star Betelgeuse, which has an obvious orange-red color, and to the upper left in Orion is the blue giant star Regal. To the left of Orion and lower down is Taurus the Bull. Its head, which resembles an inverted V. This is the open grouping known as the Hyades, or Hades perhaps, with a foreground red giant star Aldebaran, and at the end of the open V. This month, the red planet Mars is below and nearby. To the left, in the northwest, but lower down, sits M45, Messier object M45, the beautiful Pleiades cluster, which we have an image of here. There it is. It's the one supplied, courtesy of Tenya. So, yes, there it is, the Pleiades cluster. There's over 1,000 stars form the cluster, but at 444 light years, only a few are bright enough to be seen with the naked eye. For some cultures, those few bright stars represent a group of women, and they are often referred to as the Seven Sisters. In New Zealand, in Aotearoa, the cluster is Matariki, whose appearance marks the start of the Maori New Year. So yes, the Pleiades open star cluster M45 in the Charles Messier 1771 catalogue. And this image released in 2009 by the European Southern Observatory. That's what you're looking at there on the screen right now. Okay, back to me. Okay. In the northeast, to the northeast and high in the evening sky sits the brightest star at night, Sirius, in Canis Major, or the Greater Dog, while directly below is Procyon in Canis Minor, the Lesser Dog. The bright star Regulus is in the northeast, which gives us the location for Leo the Lion, recognizable with his head and mane making an inverted question mark in the sky. Turning to the southeast, as always, the Southern Cross or Crux can be seen in our skies. This time of the year it sits on its side with the 2 pointers Alpha and Beta Centauri, the brightest and second brightest stars in Centaurus, lying below. If you are in a dark sky location and can see the vast band of the Milky Way, billions of stars that form part of the Milky Way, then you can see the dark cloud known as the coal sack sitting beside the Southern Cross. Such interstellar dust clouds are major features of the galaxy embedded in its disk of stars and nebula. Our visible light view further into the galaxy is hampered by these dense cold fields of dust, but fortunately infrared telescopes that can detect heat are better able to pierce the veil of dust and see what lies beyond. The International Space Station. The International Space Station orbits every 90 minutes at an average distance of 400 kilometers. It appears like a bright star moving slowly across the night sky. And here are some bright passes visible over Melbourne this month. On the morning of Thursday, the 21st, at 6:17 a.m. to 6:23 a.m., coming in from the west-northwest to the southeast. Then on the evening of Friday the 1st, today in fact, there was a passing at 8:52 p.m. to 8:59 p.m., coming in from the southwest to the northeast. So you happen to have been outside tonight, looking up at 8:52 p.m. to 8:59 p.m, you would have seen a bright star-like object moving southwest to northeast. That was the International Space Station. The Heavens Above website gives predictions for visible passes of space stations and major satellites, live sky views and 3D visualizations. Be sure to first enter your location under the configuration file to get an accurate representation of beginning and ending times. Yes, so Heavens Above is the website. Excellent little site to have. You're tuned to ASV Radio, VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel, with the regular Friday night broadcast here on 80 metres and also on the Melbourne television repeater, VK3 RTV Digital Channel 1. Good evening to all the viewers up there. We also have a email address, which I forgot to mention at the beginning. You can send signal reports to vk3ekh@gmail.com, vk3ekh@gmail.com. We also have a Discord chat room available. If you download Discord, look for the Astronomy chat room. I think that's all you need to do. Otherwise, if you can't find it, we will forward on, get in contact with us and we'll attach a link to being able to find it for next week. So we have a few folks there. We have Richard, VK3VRS, Steve, VK3SPX, Kim VK5 FUSE, and Martin VK7JAH as the laptop sits just to the bottom of me here. I haven't still set up a second screen here yet. All right, we've done that. So on this day, on the 1st of March 2003, the Space Shuttle Columbia disintegrated on re-entry, killing all 7 astronauts, halting the Space Shuttle program for over 2 years. 1st of March 2003. Can remember that time very well. Also on the 1st of March 1970, US astronomer Vera Rubin finds evidence of dark matter by studying the motion of stars and galaxy rotation not consistent with Newton's laws. On the 3rd of March 1996, Luna 9, USSR, made first soft landing on the moon and sent first panoramic images of the ocean of storms. On the 4th of March 1976, Lunar Orbiter 3, USA, launches to the moon to select Apollo landing sites. On the 5th of March 1963, Dutch astronomer Martin Schmidt discovers quasars, or quasi-stellar radio sources, some of the brightest radio objects in the sky, night sky in the universe. On the 7th of March 1979, Pluto moves inside Neptune's orbit for the first time since its 1930 discovery. On the 8th of March 1969, the Allende meteorite, the largest carbonaceous meteorite is found. It lands near the village of Allende, Mexico. On the 9th of March 1986, first module of the Mir space station USSR is launched into Earth orbit. 1986. Also on the 9th of March 1986, the last visit of Comet Halley, met by a flotilla of probes, notably ESA's Giotto, with Comet's next return due in mid-2061. Also on the 9th of March 1473, the birth of Nicholas Copernicus, famous for his sun-centered theory on the revolutions of the celestial spheres, 1543, which triggered the Copernican revolution. Also on the 9th of March 1975, Soyuz 17 returns to Earth, setting Soviet record of 29 days in space. On the 11th of March 2003, first measurements using WMAP, or the Wilkinson Microwave Anisotropy Probe, data to reveal relic Big Bang temperature as a variation across the universe. On the 12th of March 1947, 100-ton iron meteorite falls in the Sikotor-Alin, southeast Russia, the largest in recorded history, brighter than the sun, with deafening sound and a smoke trail lasting several hours. That was 1947. On the 12th of March 1961, the Varuna 1 probe, USSR, launched to Venus by the Soviet Union. Also on the 12th of March 2001, near Shoemaker, USA, is first probe to land on an asteroid, 433 Eros. On the 13th of March 2004, discovery of the largest diamond, white star, BPM 37093, is announced. I think I remember talking about that. On the 14th of March 1990, Voyager 1 makes famous pale blue dot picture of Earth as it looks back while speeding out of the solar system. The 15th of March 1564 is the birth of astronomer, physicist and engineer Galileo Galilei in Pisa, Italy. Supported the heliocentric solar system and studied motion, telescopes, moons of Jupiter, rings of Saturn, phases of Venus, sunspots and features of the moon. On the 15th of March 2013, a 20-meter Chelyabinsk meteor explodes 30 kilometers over the southern Urals, Russia, traveling at 60,000 kilometers an hour with a shockwave damaging buildings and causing many injuries due to flying glass. On the 16th, 1771, Charles Messier's catalogue of 100 deep space objects, I guess, is finalised. On the 17th of March 1965, Ranger 8 probe launched to image the moon in aid of Apollo landings. And on the 18th of March 1930, Clyde Tombaugh, USA, discovers Pluto using a blink comparator in a systematic search of the supposed planet X beyond Neptune. On the 20th of March 1962, first American astronaut into orbit, John Glenn, in Mercury Friendship 7 in 3 orbits lasting almost 5 hours. On the 22nd of March 1632, Galileo publishes dialogue concerning the 2 chief world systems, which compared solar system models and led to conflict with and censure by the Catholic Church, 1632. On the 23rd of March 1987, SN 1987A, closest and brightest supernova since 1054, observed in the Large Magellanic Cloud, 168,000 light years away, visible to the naked eye for months. I just don't recall seeing it. Coming up to the end of this, on the 24th of March 1968, postgraduate student Jocelyn Bell, Northern Ireland, discovers the first pulsar. Bless her heart. On the 26th of March 1966, the first Saturn 1B rocket launch, which led to the Saturn V Apollo missions. 27th of March 1942, S.J. Hay, UK, discovered radio emissions coming from the sun. And finally, on the 28th of March 1997, first evidence for gamma-ray bursts as extragalactic energy sources. There it is. Thank you, Tanya Hill, the resident astronomer at the Planetarium Science Works in Melbourne, with her monthly Sky Notes for March. And I thought I'd work my way through the entire dates that she listed, because sometimes I just go through halfway and I never really finish. Okay, the time is 10:29. Welcome to tonight's session of the Astronomical Society of Victoria's Friday night broadcast, broadcasting on YouTube on 3541 kilohertz in the amateur radio band there, and also via Melbourne television repeater, VK3 RTV full HD. And also there is an email address, vk3ekh@gmail.com, for signal reports. G'day Andrew, VK3KIS, and Wayne, VK3VCL, and Stephen, VK3SPX, all sending reports there. There was a meeting at the Eastern Mountain District Radio Club tonight, which was quite interesting. They were broadcasting on VK3 R2V2, and I sat there and listened to it all and watched all that on Wyson. Most interesting indeed. Really good to see the club up on the repeater. Now, next article, and tonight I'm using a bright light in my face. And it's really making it tricky. No, I mean, I can see the screen, but it's just there. There is a bright light blinding me, and yeah. Anyway, normally I reflect the light off the wall, but there's a window there now, so it's not much point. Odysseus travelled to the moon, broke its leg, and still pinged Earth to tell the story. The historic lander is the first commercial mission to make a soft landing on the moon, but its mission will be cut short for now. The lunar lander Odysseus which touched down softly, is somewhat awkwardly on the moon last week. It's alive and well, but after nearly a week of returning science data, it is running low on power and will soon be put to sleep. What we are going to do is tuck Oldie in the cold night, that's what it says here, and see if we can wake him up here then when we get to the solar noon, in which about is 3 weeks. Steve Altmus, CEO of the craft's builder and operator of Intuitive Machines, I keep getting that wrong all the time, Intuitive Machines, said during a press conference, February 28, reference to the solar noon reflects the hope that the craft can generate more power when the sun is high overhead and potentially resume operations, he said. Odysseus landing on February 22 made it the first American-made craft to land on the moon since 1972 and the first non-government craft to ever do so. But it wasn't a flawless landing, as Odysseus, about 14 feet, 4.3 meters tall, and weighing roughly 675 kilograms, neared the lunar surface. Instead of hovering stably before touchdown, it was still drifting slowly. When its feet touched the ground, or when the feet touched down, they skidded across the moon's surface, snapping one of the landing gear legs. As the engine shut off, the craft gently toppled partly over, coming to a rest at about a 30-degree angle from upright. And there's an image here taken. Bring that up. So what you're seeing there, Odysseus on the moon, this photo shows a piece of the landing gear leg that has broken off. It's not terribly clear, but you can see one complete leg intact and the other leg not so intact. So as a result, the probe hasn't landed correctly. So as the engine shut off, the craft gently toppled partly over, coming to rest at a 30-degree angle from upright. So despite the tumble, the lander was able to generate power from its solar panels, allowing all the payloads to collect and return data. However, the awkward landing altered the mission because the craft's solar panels could not aim directly at the sun. The lander was scheduled to collect data for as long as 10 days, but will instead go into hibernation after 6 days. And there's another image here too I have. Okay, this is another view or another angle on the problem. Odysseus carried 6 payloads under contract for NASA. Several were intended to collect data and test navigation and landing technology that will be used for the agency's Artemis program, which will return astronauts to the moon. All of the data that can be used for Artemis will be used for Artemis, NASA Sue Lydia said during a press conference. Odysseus landed about 300 kilometers from the moon's south pole, near a crater named Malapert A. The area is part of the rugged polar highlands, the same region Artemis landings will target. Due to a wiring error, Odysseus was forced to fly its touchdown without its built-in laser rangefinders, a key navigation instrument. Engineers delayed the landing to put together a last-minute hack, rerouting data from the laser ranging tools on one of the science payloads. However, Initiative Machines revealed at the February 28 press conference that the patch didn't work. In the scramble, engineers missed a flag in the code to tell the navigation algorithm the data were valid. As a result, the lander came to rest at about 1.5 kilometers outside of its intended landing zone, at a higher elevation than expected, and on a 12-degree slope within a small crater. These factors also contributed to its slightly clumsy landing. There's another image here I've got. Just bring that up. There it is. So in this particular image, Odysseus snapped this image 35 seconds after falling over. Is what that picture is. So still, for intuitive machines, get it right, Clint, the fact that the craft managed to land softly using only data from its cameras and internal motion sensors is a feat in itself. It's the first time anybody flown this algorithm, and it exceeded expectation because we lived to tell about it, said Tim Crane, the company's chief technical officer. NASA payloads include a variety of tests and demonstrations, including landing technologies involved in the failed laser rangefinder patch, tracking the lander's fuel in zero gravity, and other navigation and communication tools. One instrument was designed to observe how the landing engine exhaust interacts with the lunar surface and its sharp abrasive dust. Unfortunately, a hardware failure prevented it from collecting data during the descent and landing, but controllers were able to fix this later and make observations from the landing site. In another spacecraft first, Odysseus engine runs on a mixture of liquid methane and liquid oxygen. These propellants must be stored at very low temperatures, as even in space, heat from the sun or spacecraft exhaust can cause it to boil off. Such cryogenic fuels are expected to play a key long-term role in the Artemis program. The lunar lander also brought a payload to study radio emissions from objects like the Sun, Jupiter, and Earth. This is an early step toward a long-held dream of astronomers, placing a radio telescope on the Moon's far side, shielded from interference from Earth. The delivery of the instruments is the second mission of NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Systems initiative, which contracts commercial companies to deliver tools and technology to the Moon. The first CLPS mission, the Peregrine lander, built by US company Astronomical, failed to reach the Moon and burned up in the Earth's atmosphere last month. And there's just one more image here that they've got on this article. And there's this one here for those watching YouTube and RTV. This image was taken by the lander as it descended onto the lunar surface before it created over. So they're getting pretty good with their images with this sort of stuff. So, you know, when they finally do get back to the Moon with people, the picture quality and high definition associated with the picture quality and the clarity is just going to be mind-blowing. It really is going to be fascinating stuff to see. You're tuned to ASV Radio, VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel, the official station of the Astronomical Society of Victoria, with the regular Friday night broadcast. Time is 20 minutes to 11. Dazzling Sky Survey maps 5,259 galaxy clusters that sheds light on dark matter. The mysterious substance that makes up 26% of the mass of in the universe played a key role in early galaxy formation. Cosmologists have long been on the hunt for dark matter, which makes up 80% of the mass in the universe, yet it is still mysterious. As its name suggests, dark matter doesn't emit light, absorb light, or interact with normal matter at all. We can only detect the presence of dark matter through its gravitational effects on normal baryonic matter. For example, stars and gas clouds orbit the centers of galaxies far too quickly to be accounted for by only the visible matter. The galaxies move around inside of clusters far too quickly. Unseen matter must be helping these objects, an effect first noticed back in the 1930s. Indeed, the largest structures in the universe can only have evolved to their present state aided by the presence of dark matter. Let me just change to my live camera. If they were made of only normal visible matter, then these structures, like the clusters of galaxies that are home to thousands of galaxies or more, simply would not have had enough time to reach their present sizes. So by studying these large structures, astronomers can hope to find a clue as to how dark matter behaves. From there, they can test various ideas about the nature of dark matter and compare these ideas with observations from the cosmos. And there's a picture associated with this article. Let me bring that up. All right, so what you're looking at there, in this map of a celestial hemisphere compiled from data from the Rosetta telescope, the colors reflect the wavelengths of X-rays. Hot gases, halos surrounding galaxy clusters, have broad band emissions, which is white, as do black holes, which are white dots. Diffuse emissions have long wavelengths, which are red, and in the central regions of the Milky Way, dust blocks longer wavelength emissions, so that only short wavelength X-rays are visible as blue or black. Multicolored clouds are supernova remnants. So that's a really interesting image on the screen there. But because clusters of galaxies are so large, they are relatively rare. For example, the nearest galaxy cluster to us is the Virgo cluster, the core of which is 54 million light years away. If we want to really study how dark matter can influence the birth and evolution of galaxy clusters, we need to survey that can capture lots of them. Thankfully, galaxy clusters contain more than just galaxies and dark matter. Filling in the volume of each cluster is a hot, thin gas. This gas has such a low density that it would register as a vacuum in earthbound laboratories, but it's so hot that it emits X-ray radiation. This makes galaxy clusters glow brightly at those wavelengths as one of the brightest sources of X-rays on the sky. In 2019, German and Russian research groups collaborated to launch a new X-ray satellite, the Spectre RG mission, it's called. Spectre, S-P-E-K-T-R, RG mission. On board the mission was the Rosetta, an X-ray telescope designed to scan the entire sky and provide detailed high-resolution data. Due to the breakdown of relations between Germany and Russia following the latter country's invasion of Ukraine, the instrument stopped collecting data in 2022. Funny about that. Recently, the European Space Agency announced the release of its first batch of all-sky results constituting data captured before 2022. The data are publicly available and have already been used to strengthen our understanding of dark matter. All told, the eRosetta instrument mapped 5,259 galaxy clusters across roughly one-third of the entire sky. The number of clusters in the universe and the distribution of their sizes is closely connected to the amount of dark matter. More dark matter in the early cosmos will cause galaxy clusters to form earlier and become larger, while less dark matter will produce smaller clusters. The results from all-sky survey confirm that dark matter plays a critical role in shaping these gigantic structures. Additionally, the new all-sky image provided enough detailed information about galaxy clusters to be able to use them as a precise measurement of the total amount of matter in the universe. 29% of the entire mass energy of the cosmos comes in the form of matter, dark matter making up most of that, with the remainder in the form of dark energy. And these results agree with the established ratios from cosmological satellites like Planck. The new all-sky survey isn't just about galaxy clusters, it also provides a wealth of information about many high-energy events in the cosmos, like pulsars, neutron stars, black holes, and supernova. The team will follow up with more data captured in the rest of the sky later on. You're tuned to ASV Radio, VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel, the official station of the Astronomical Society of Victoria, with a regular Friday night cast missions. A baby star's planet-forming disk has 3 times more water than all of the oceans, Earth's oceans. Published 1 day ago. Space.com. Oh, I need my back cracked. I've already said that. I had never imagined that we could capture an image of oceans of water vapor in the same region where a planet is likely forming. And there is a picture associated with this article. Let me just select that. There it is. Do I have my insert working? Where's my insert? Maybe I can insert my little camera there. Have I got rid of it? It looks like I might have got rid of it. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay. Astronomers have discovered, firstly, the image that you're seeing on the screen right now. What you're seeing is a real image. It's not an artist's impression. It's the planet-forming disk HI, Tauri, as seen by the Atacama Large Millimeter and Submillimeter Array in Chile. Astronomers have discovered that a planet-birthing disk of gas and dust that surrounds an infant star is drenched with enough water to fill Earth's oceans 3 times over. Water, a key element needed to form and sustain life as we know it, has always been considered to play an important role in forming planets. This is the first time that astronomers have been able to map the distribution of water in a cool, stable disk of gas, or protoplanetary disk, that is ideal for planet formation. The team behind the breakthrough used the Atacama Large Millimeter Submillimeter Array to zoom in on water vapor locked up in gas and dust within a protoplanetary disk surrounding the disk-like star HL Tauri, located 450 light years away from Earth in the constellation Taurus. The author says, I had never imagined that we could capture an image of oceans of water vapor in the same region where a planet is likely forming. Stefano Facchini, research leader and astronomer at the University of Milan, said in a statement, our results show how the presence of water may influence the development of planetary systems just like it did some 4.5 billion years ago in our own solar system. ALMA gets into the groove around HL Tauri. HL Tauri is part of one of the largest and closest star-forming regions to Earth called the Taurus Molecular Cloud, which contains a stellar nursery of hundreds of newborn stars called T Tauri stars. ALMA's sensitivity allowed astronomers to determine the distribution of water in different regions of the HL Tauri system. The most significant volume of water in the disk was found in a curved gap that scientists have known about for some time. Ring-shaped grooves in the disk are thought to have been carved out as forming planets orbiting young stars, gathering mass like a snowball rolling down a hill. Finding water in one of these grooves suggests it is being occurred by budding planets. If true, the water would have impacted their chemical compositions. Our recent images reveal a substantial quantity of water vapor at a region of distances from the star that includes a gap where a planet could potentially be forming at the present time. Not only does this discovery mark an important development in our understanding of planet formation, but it also represents quite an achievement for ALMA. Disquishing. I can't even say it. Disquishing. That's what I'm saying, but it's not the right word. Distinguishing. That's the word. Water at such an incredible distances is made pretty tricky for ground-based telescopes due to the obscuring effects of vapor in the Earth's atmosphere. ALMA is comprised of an array of telescope antennas located at the Atacama Desert region in North Chile at an elevation of 16,400 feet, or almost 5,000 meters. ALMA lives high in the sky in the dry atmosphere of Chile, minimizing the effect of water vapor on its observations. To date, ALMA is the only facility able to spatially resolve water in a cool planet-forming disk. Astronomers may soon be able to see this planet-forming disk in even greater detail, not only as ALMA undergoing upgrades, but work is underway in Chile on the extremely large telescope. Both these instruments could soon use their high and dry status to help astronomers better understand the role of water in planet formation. It is truly remarkable that we can not only detect but also capture detailed images and spatially resolve water vapor at a distance 450 light years from us. Yes, it is. It's rather incredible. Incredible. You're tuned to ASV Radio, VK3EKH. Time is 8 minutes to 11. And the next article to finish off tonight. There is a leak. The International Space Station has sprung an air leak, but NASA says there's no need to panic yet. Oh, it doesn't say yet, but there's my editorial going on there. And there is a picture associated with this article, the only picture they had for the article. And guess what? It is the International Space Station. Okay. Russia Space Agency said on Wednesday that its section of the International Space Station is again suffering an air link issue, but said the problem currently poses no threat to its crew. Indeed, somebody's taking pot shots from the ground, I'd say. Joke. Anyway, Space Station is again suffering an air link issue, but said that the problem currently poses no threat to its crew. Indeed, specialists are detecting an air link on board the International Space Station, the press service of Roscosmos said on Wednesday. There is no threat to the crew members or the station itself, they said. Space officials said Russian crew are regularly working to identify and fix potential leaks on the International Space Station. The announcement came shortly after National American Space Agency Program Manager Joel Montalbano on the same day reported an air link in the Russians' life support module during a press briefing for the new Crew 8 mission. According to Montalbano, the leak is small but growing. There is an area at the end of the International Space Station that we've seen a leak. There is a small leak. We saw a leak increasing about a week before the recent Progress launch and docking, he said. Montalbano added that NASA was working with Roscosmos on the issue and that the leak is neither affecting crew safety nor disrupting the Crew 8 mission, which aims to send 4 astronauts to the International Space Station. NASA and Roscosmos found an air link in Russia's side of the International Space Station in August 2020. It was in the Zvezda module, which provides critical life support like oxygen and water. Not a place to have a leak, I would think. This leak source identified in October 2020 and temporarily patched up, but another possible link spot was found in November 21 by Russian cosmonaut Pyotr Dubrov. Roscosmos said in January 22 that the last air link location in that particular module had been discovered and would be fixed. However, the announcement on Wednesday indicates that the problem has resurfaced, or perhaps was never even fixed at all. Russia is set to pull out of the International Space Station after 2024. Moscow has said in July 2020, at a time when the US announced sanctions targeting Russian leadership because of its war in Ukraine. The station has been one of the last remaining points of cooperation between Roscosmos and NASA, which hopes to continue operating the aging station until 2030. Meanwhile, Roscosmos said it plans to build its own space station, following the example of the China-independent Tianjong station. As Moscow continues to split from the West, Russia space officials have questioned the reliability of the old equipment on the board of the International Space Station. So things are afoot in space as well. You're tuned to ASV Radio, VK3 EKH 1057. Let's scoot across to spaceweather.com. The solar wind is currently at 353.1 kilometers a second at a density of 2.05 protons per cubic centimeter. The current disk of the sun has many visible sunspots, which you can see right now. So that is the current disk of the sun. There are 7 designated sunspots. The current sunspot number is 107, and the radio sun, measured at a wavelength of 10.7 centimeters, is currently 164 solar flux units. The KP index is 3. Over the 24 hours, it will be considered as 3 and is considered quiet. The aurora over Antarctica is currently looking like this. So it's a little bit on the strong side. It's obviously arching towards New Zealand and Tasmania. There's a reasonable amount of auroral activity, but not really much in the way of any visible aurora activity at the mainland. So, yes. Just checking on something here. All right, I won't worry about that right now. Okay, now, sorry about the umming. Oh, yes, there is one thing here. A glancing blow CME is coming, maybe. NOAA forecasters say that a CME might graze Earth's magnetic field late on March the 2nd. It was hurled into space yesterday with a magnetic filament attached to sunspot AR3592 erupted. The impact could spark minor G1 class geomagnetic storms, they say. And they're also saying here, and I have one last image, courtesy of spaceweather.com, March is the best month of the year for auroras. They say, did you know that March is the best month of the year for auroras? It's true. A 75-year study by retired NASA solar physicist David Hathaway shows that March has more geomagnetically active days than any other month of the year, and October is the close second runner-up. So the chart you're seeing on the screen right now is data collected over this time, and it can be seen that yes, March and October appear to be the best times of the year to go viewing auroral activity, it seems. On that note, the potential hazardous asteroids, and I'm trying to find my camera, there it is. The potential hazardous asteroids as of the 1st of March 2024 is 2,349 potentially hazardous asteroids, but none of them are on a collision course with Earth at this present moment in time. On that note, this is VK3EKH. We shall have a quick listen on the frequency, 3541 kilohertz, for any stations wishing to check in. Another quick look at the email. No new emails, and a quick look at Discord. Rob's there. VK3GOD has also come up on Discord as well. G'day, Robert. All right, let's see who is listening on 80 meters, and just getting my pencil ready. And I think the volume is up. This is VK3EKH listening on 3541 for any stations wishing to check in.
VK3JR. VK3 Delta X-ray. VK3SPX. VK3 Zulu Tango.
All right. VK3JR, VK3DX, VK3SPX, VK7JAH, VK3ZT. Were there any other stations there?
VK3 Victor Kilo 3 Delta Oscar Delta.
All right, VK3GOD, but there was another station. Who was that?
VK3 Lima Charlie Mike.
Great, VK3LCM. All right. Okay, across to you there, Frank. Good evening to you, sir. VK3JR, VK3EKH.
Good evening, everyone. VK3EKH, VK3JR. So I missed the broadcast. I've just come back from a meeting at the EMDRC, where we had a very interesting discussion and talk this evening. On the civil emergency network license and all matters related. Otherwise, not too much to report, Clint. Thank you for doing it. And there's no missions this evening, unfortunately. The missions man is not so well. So we wish him a quick recovery. Back to you, and thanks for doing it. VK3EKH, VK3JR.
Okay, VK3JR, VK3EKH. Thanks, Frank. And Steve doesn't sound so good. He's hopefully it's not another bout of COVID. He may be up on tomorrow morning's broadcast. So on the coffee break net tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock on 1825, maybe not. But we'll have a listen out for him to see if he manages to come up. But no worries, Frank. Yeah, I was watching the ATV broadcast. They were broadcasting the Wyson presentation tonight, which we had on the big screen here. Came across very well. Thanks, Frank. Take care. Greg, VK3 Delta X-ray, VK3 EKH.
Good evening, Clint. VK3EKH, VK3 Delta X-ray, and a good session there tonight there, Clint. Everything we see. Well, no, I missed the bit about Hamilton, mate. I'll get you to give me a bit of a rundown what's coming up at Hamilton up out of the trotting track or the race course. I'm not sure, but I sort of just tuned in and just sort of caught a little
better, but wasn't sure what was going on there. Hamilton's not too far from it, so I might be sort of interested in shooting up there most when the event is happening. Yeah, nice evening down here. Signals good clip, 59.20, as per usual. And good evening to the others that have checked in. And as I said, a very interesting broadcast as per usual there, Clint. Well done. Thanks for doing it. VK3 EKH. VK3 Delta X-ray, Greg in Warrnambool.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. VK3 Delta X-ray, VK3 EKH returning. Good signal from you. The band's gone quiet. I was listening to 80 metres before starting up, and there was a whole lots of lightning crashes and noise, but it seems to have gone nice and quiet, so that's good. Now, if you go to the ASV website, Greg, and on the home page, they've got a revolving banner. It's a banner that keeps moving. Changing all the time. Yes, on March the 9th, 10th, which is next weekend, they've got the Messier Star Party at the Hamilton Harness Racing Club. A unique stargazing opportunity. Messier Star Party, located at the Hamilton Harness Racing Club. Explore the night sky. You have to book. There's a link to booking online, so you can register to come to the event. At the moment, I'm not 100% sure if it is open to the public, whether it's it's got to be the public, because that was one of the reasons for going out to the west, was to introduce the night sky to folks out there at the Western Victoria. So they don't have to go all the way to Heathcote, because usually the Star Party is located at Heathcote, and that's quite a journey for a lot of people. Even 2.5 hour drive for me these days is just a bit too much. So they've decided to take the Messier Star Party on the road, and it's at Hamilton Harness Racing Club. But look, just go to the website, Greg, and look at that caption that's running on the screen, and just click on book now to see what that leads to, and go from there, I suppose. All right, thanks, Greg. Steve, VK3SBX, VK3EKH, have a say.
VK3EKH, this is VK3SBX. Hi, Clint. Thanks for the broadcast. I won't hold it long. I just got a cramp in my leg that's causing me some trouble, so I won't hold it.
Don't you hate that?
Those 4 new astronauts are all ham radio operators, by the way. Anyway, look, I've got to lie down, put the heat back on my leg. Thanks, Clint. VK3EKH, VK3SBX.
Yeah, no worries, Steve. I don't know whether it's a cramp, but I certainly know what cramps in the legs are like. I've been taking some extra magnesium lately, and it seems to have fixed it. But boy, oh boy, you get a cramp in a leg and you know about it, but it always seems to happen when you're halfway through the blasted night. You have to get out of bed and somehow struggle with this intense pain. It feels like your bone's about to snap. Enough of that. Thanks, Steve. Good on you, mate. And I didn't know about the astronauts all being amateurs. That's a cool thing, isn't it? Martin, VK7JAH, down in Launceston. Have a say, mate.
Good signal down here tonight. A little bit of noise, but nevertheless not too bad. Back on here this week for our friends was suffering with COVID, but I'm over that now. Thank goodness. So, happy to be back on here and hearing you down here. I lost my internet about 3/4 of the way through that. Wasn't your problem. Seems to be my NBN connection down here. I'd have to reset the modem off the seat, but that's an issue. But I was watching on my iPad after. Good to see you there. That's definitely what your issue was mine. Nevertheless, signal wise, and the CCC, you're usually sort of about 40 over 9, stay on you here. No no troubles at all. Yes, of course, thank you very much. Might have to go and have a look tomorrow night, though. Seems like it might be a good time for the water to happen. With the look at the very least. So, quite looking forward to that. We'll give it a shot and I'll look and see. I'm not in the greatest position to see a ward here at the moment. A little bit of a valley. So I still seem to be reasonably well, so I'm not exactly uncommon to hear something sort of fairly regular. Something like a little water. So yeah, nevertheless, all good down here. Thank you very much. Thank you. VK7JAH.
Yeah, no worries, Martin. VK7JAH, VK3EKH, beauty. No worries at all. And I'm glad you said that the problem was that you're in with the internet. I'm still doing checks and balances here to make sure that I don't have problems with the RF getting into the modem. So far, it's been behaving itself. Like I said last week, I've got earth wires all running everywhere. Everything's practically earthed in front of me, going to a common bus bar on the wall here, and the Ethernet cable running from the modem is a bit of I think it's Cat 7 fully shielded cable, which has helped, I think. And yeah, everything seems to be holding in. So I've still got a few more earths to put around as well. But anyway, there it is. Thanks, Martin. Thanks for coming in, and have a nice weekend. And yeah, don't catch the COVID again. It's a bugger of a thing. Mitch, VK3ZT, good to hear you. Have a say, VK3EKH.
Very compromised over the antenna. I'm pleased to continue. Yours and I will still get on the place. And location is not out. Just a question. Please let me know. So I think it's the video.
Thanks, Mitch. VK3ZT, VK3EKH. I think you said your location was Dalesford, which yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, look, you're not a very strong signal. When you called in the initial call in, you were quite audible then, but the signal is in the noise, and you're peaking about 9, but my noise floor. My noise floor is right on S9, and there are some lightning crashes. So just a moment ago I said it was quiet, but there's all manner of noise going there now. So yeah, it's a bit difficult to hear everything you're saying there, Mitch. But so it's I heard you say that your antenna was in some sort of compromised position. So from what I remember, last time we chatted, your antenna wasn't too far above the ground. So I'm not sure if that's still the situation, but yeah, you really need to get that antenna up in the air so it breathes a little bit better. But basically, I'll give you a 4x9, but that's only really because the lightning crashes are fairly strong. They're peaking 10 over 5 to 10 over 9 or stronger. So there it is. But look, thanks, Mitch, for calling in. I know you always send a comment there on Discord or email, and which I appreciate. So I know you're there. Not a problem at all. And thanks for the comments about the broadcast too. Excellent stuff. Thanks, Mitch. Now, Robert, VK3GOD, VK3EKH.
VK3EKH, VK3GOD. Thanks for the broadcast tonight. I was picking up 5, 9 plus 10. quite a bit of static and lightning audible here. And other than that, everyone has a good week ahead. And if you're going out looking at the stars, clear skies. VK3 EKH, VK3 GOD.
Thanks, Robert. VK3 GOD, VK3 EKH returning, not a problem at all. And yes, if I had my observatory set up down the back there, I'm sure I'd be out there till 3 o'clock in the morning as well. It's getting there, but nothing's moved on that at the moment. We're still pretty much stalemate. I've got to get down there. So anyway, look, thanks, Robert. Good to hear you. And you're about 10 to 15 over 9 here at the moment. VK3LCM. I'm not sure if you've called in before. Call sign does sound familiar. I did quickly look it up. Daniel, that's it. VK3LCM, VK3EKH. Have a say.
Yeah, VK3EKH, VK3LCM. Can you hear me there?
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah, I'm not talking on an 80-metre antenna, so it's a 40-metre vertical. I'm in Hampton Park, so not far from you. Say, quick g'day, we have worked before previously, some old QDH, but good to hear you again. I'm back on the air anyway. I'll hand it back to you, 73. Good night.
Yeah, no worries, Daniel. Good on you, mate. VK3LCM, who's on a 40-metre vertical. I think you said VK3 EKH returning. Well, look, yes, you're just down the road, so you're not doing too bad, mate. Quite a good enough signal here for sure. All right, is there any other stations wishing to check in tonight? This is VK3 EKH listening.
VK3GL, budget.
Yep, let's go ahead, Graham.
Oh, hey, Clint. Yeah, I'll just see if there's anyone else on that first.
Well, is there? Nope, take it, great.
Alright, VK3 EKH, VK3GL. Yes, very good evening there, Clint. Good evening to everyone else who checked in this evening. Hoping everyone's quite okay. Apart from Daniel, I couldn't hear Daniel at all. He just called in on his VK3 LCM. Unfortunately, Clint, this evening I've been busy and tied up with some work stuff, so I really didn't get too much of an opportunity to tune in and catch up with the happenings on the broadcast this evening. So I'm assuming that it went quite okay. I did have the streaming, but I had to turn the volume down because of other activities and making phone calls and so on and so forth. But it looks like it's sort of eased up a little bit now, so I took the opportunity to give you a call. And so on. So trust you've had a good week, and might have a few words with you after the callback session. As I said, I trust the broadcast went all okay, and I'm sure as usual you have plenty of good information to share. Good signal here on 80 metres, on 80 metres, you've been 20 over 9 while I'm truly full the whole time. VK3 EKH, VK3 GL in budget.
Yeah, no worries, Graham. VK3GL, Bun Yip, VK3 EKH returning. And yes, Daniel was on a 40-metre vertical. It's the only antenna that he had to come up on 80 metres with. So, yeah, not much would have been radiating. Although I heard him okay here, but he's in Hamilton, so not far away. Yeah, okay, great, not a problem. And good signal from you tonight as well. Excellent stuff. And like I say, not a problem at all. All right. I think that's about it. So this is VK3 Echo Kilo Hotel, the official station of the Astronomical Society of Victoria, with the first broadcast for March, 1st of March. And we'll be back next Friday to do it all again. Thanks for watching and listening. And we'll have more news, astronomical news and events for next Friday. Every week there seems to be something new to talk about. So there it is. So everybody take care, have a nice weekend, and look after yourselves. We'll see you all next week. This is VK3 EKH, closing down on 3541. VK3 EKH clear. All right, and as far as ATV is concerned, Thank you for watching, and yep, stand by, Gray. I'm just finishing on the other mediums. Yeah, so anyway, we'll be back on Sunday morning with the WIA broadcast on 1825 kilohertz at 9 o'clock in the morning, followed an hour later by the ATV broadcast at 10:30, Bevan VK5 BD's broadcast, which he does extremely well. And then, of course, Tuesday nights, ATV Net. So there it is. There's also a repeat of the WIA news at 8 o'clock on Sunday evening too. For those that are still watching the YouTube stream, I'm glad to see that the YouTube stream is hung in there. So that's an excellent thing. Thanks to the guys that sent emails, and to the folks that are watching also on the Discord channel too. I can see that Remus is there as well. G'day, Remus. And of course David from the Mount Burnett Observatory. So for those that live up in the hills, Gembrook, Emerald, all those areas, take time to visit the Mount Burnett Observatory. It's a nicely well established observatory. They meet every Friday night. And if the sky is clear, the dome will be opened. They've also got a secondary observatory up there with a smaller dome. Make use of the optical observatory in the hills, Mount Burnett, worthwhile going to. On that note, we shall conclude with the visions. So this is VK3 EKH. For the Astronomical Society of Victoria, for those that are watching, cheers, have a nice weekend, and we'll catch up with you next Friday and next Sunday morning with the WIA broadcast. Cheers for now, and we're going back to 80 metres to talk with Graham, VK3GL.